1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everyone, and welcome to a playthrough of Trials of Mana. And, well, this is something I've done previously, at least personally. And this playthrough round, I'm going to be using some characters that I haven't done in the previous run. And pretty much that's going to consist of Duran here once we get to that section. Duran, who I don't know, I guess I assume he must be like the main character. I would be my assumption, since he does wield a sword and mana sword and all that, kind of seems to connect a little bit. But yeah, strength is a strong suit, stamina lacks intelligence. Or intellect, horribly. Okay, but not too bad. Okay, then let's see. Our other characters are going to be... It's going to be Angela, and then Spirit and Intellect, so a really good magic user. And, okay, Kevin, so high on strength also. Luck, no intellect, or, decent spirit. Well, okay spirit, and miss stamina. But, yeah, these are the three I didn't use. Because for some reason I felt, Hawkeye, Charlotte, and Reese were kind of closely aligned to the characters with Secret of Mana. But I think Duran kind of suits that role better than Hawkeye does, now that I think about it. But yeah, I'm using the Japanese voiceover and English subtitles, so yeah, you got that. But for the sake of moving along the story, once the text shows up on the screen, I'll probably just proceed with the rest of the story or next dialogue, all that good stuff. And immediately we're thrown into a battle tutorial with Bruiser here. These can break us like a dry noodle, apparently. But yeah, it's very simple little fight, as you could expect. I mean, you just go ahead, A is weak attacks, Y is evade, all that good stuff, and then the power attack is by X. Then you hold X for a charge attack. I mean, I use them on occasion, that one. And then a class strike is just holding down L and Y. Or it could be X, A, or B, depending on what class strike you're using. But yeah, the charge up strike, I use that not as much as I probably should have in my other playthrough, because there are going to be enemies with shields on, which it helps break. But yeah. Okay, so here's come with. So we're pretty much going to go ahead through some through the past a little bit, or flashback. Okay, and then yeah, let's just keep on going here. So it's like yeah, I always found it interesting how like out of the 6 characters, it's kind of like a 50-50 split between those who have their hometowns have been victims, and the other 3 are part of kingdoms or just civilizations that are aggressive and have been on the attack for the most part. That's what you're going to see with Kevin and Angela. But Duran doesn't really fit into that picture. Hawkeye does, as his place does become the aggressor quite a bit. But yeah, here's some flashback, just going into his father and mother. Father goes off to fight, and well, sure enough, bad things happen, and well, both parents die eventually. But pretty cool though. I mean, I find it interesting, the mustache, if anything, but nonetheless an interesting look. But yeah, heads on off, and then several months later, just bad things, bad news bears. Then if it couldn't get bad enough, then see very shortly what happens or how she takes the news. And And down. It's like horrible luck for this kid. But yeah, 2 siblings left behind, and then Stella, as the king said before, takes care of them and acts as their mother. Yeah, I definitely think I'm gonna have fun using Duran during this playthrough. It just seems like an overall strong character, and yeah, well-rounded, I guess. Just not so much so in the magic department, but I'm sure he'll make up for that. Sleeping on the job. Oh, wow, okay. Hello, vibrating controller. Yeah, so, as with many scenarios, there's always, like, some bad crap going on here, and in this case, it's Crimson Wizard. It just happens to be hanging around. Now, we do find out about, silver and gold statues. Gold ones restore MP and HP and lets you save, whereas silver, well, as you can expect, it just lets you save only, and that's that pretty much. So usually I like to check for anything that might, well, any drops such as items that come in the form of glowing yellow balls. I mean, they're thrown around all over the place once you are able to like freely roam about the kingdom and just the map in general. So you know, it helps you from having to buy useless, well, additional junk at the stores. And with this fight, it's more or less just nothing. You just listen through the dialogue while he just evades everything that's being done or thrown at him. Just annoying, but I mean, get your revenge eventually here. This time around, not so much so, as he just plays us for fools and, well, kind of owns us horribly. Well, at least this guy looks pretty cool as opposed to the other 2 antagonists. I'm sure there's another 2. So yeah, he just fireballs our ass, and there we go. And of course, before he can finish us off, cavalry come, and then yeah, it's really strange. I guess he's just probing this kingdom to see how far he can get. Yeah, he just comes in, goes just like that, and nothing else really happens. Yeah, the only thing that's I don't know, it's interesting learning the backstory and all that, but it does take quite a bit of time. You know, sometimes you just want to get into the whole, just get into the game and start fighting a bunch of monsters and progressing the story somewhat. That's what I kind of like about the 2D version. It just seems like things go a little faster that way. So here you have a lot to like show off, you know, the 3D effects and all the graphics and, you know, elements and such. With 2D, it's just, you know, it's pretty straightforward. You know, a bunch of 2D sprites, and there's only so much you can do with them, so. Yeah, so Altena is kind of the enemy state that's kind of messing with us, so main protagonist for this character. And it happens to be where Angela comes from, so interesting pair, I guess. But just like when I had Hawkeye and Reese, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's Hawkeye's, I guess, nation, state, whatever. They attacked Reese's place, so kind of an odd pair. I mean, not awkward at all. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit of time before we actually do find our other 2 teammates. So, yeah, looking forward to that. But for now, it's just solo, and hopefully it's not too bad. Should be in bed, silly. At the moment, I want to drink up a little bit. a little bit of the hard stuff. I mean, come on. Listening me and don't answer her and okay, well. I hate you. It's pretty strong words. Okay, so now you're finally able to navigate the whole town here. And what I'd like to do at least is just look around. Because, I mean, right now they just want you to talk to people and mingle a little bit, find just find your next direction to what you have to do. But also in the meantime, just look for anything that's glowing yellow, or is a pot, or also is a treasure chest. Because you'll get, a nice amount, well, a hopeful amount of lucre, or lucre, whatever however you pronounce it. You get, something that helps, and also you get some free items. Prevents you from having to spend money at the store, so why not? And from what I remember, I think there's 3 chests in this particular town. So let's go ahead and collect all this stuff. And oh wow, okay, there's another one of you. It's just crazy how much items you can get just from searching around the town. It's just like it's perfect. And that candy, I swear I can never find that. Or I can never see like the yellow orb or anything like that, indicating that it's there to begin with. It always just sneaks up on me. Yeah, it's pretty cool using a sword user in this game. Because I never did in my other playthrough, so it's a welcome change. Alright, it's a fairy walnut, and I know there's another one. Definitely know there's another chest here. It's like it just kind of caught me by surprise, because nothing to do there. Well, okay, well that's the fortune teller's house, which, there we go, that's the third one. We're kind of leading up to the point where we have to go there, but, big hint, we can't actually get there yet, so, that's someplace important, but just not meant to get there yet. So now we just have to follow the stars here and kind of find some leads. So this guy's, Crimson Wizard, guy's a jerk. Then if we go to the end here, there's going to, first we can show off the item or the magic pot. All you do is just plant any item seeds. They could be just regular item seeds, silver, gold. Then you also get some special ones later on, which give you items that you can use for changing classes. And the fortune teller kind of alludes to this also, like how this can be done. And sure enough, I kind of got it's a little bit confusing on how to actually change classes. I mean, the first class change is easy enough. You just have to get to a certain level, which I believe is 16 or 18. Then you can just change. But then the next time, you have to actually be like 38, 36. Forget the exact number, but yeah, you have to be a certain level, but you also have acquired a class item that you need in order to actually change to that class. So just a bunch of steps I did not know you had to do. That was a little annoying because, well, they keep mentioning, hey, you can change into your next class, well, as long as you were at a certain level, but then, like, how they actually get those class items, that, like, had no idea for the longest time. So I found out you actually have to wait, beat the, the last dungeons. Like, the more you complete, the easier those items tend to be to acquire. Alright, so we're yelling at this fortune teller, and yeah, they're pretty much alluding to, you have to kind of change your classes in order to actually get a little more powerful. So at this point, Let's see. At this point, we're just going to head on home. And then, well, listen to some additional dialogue. So, let's finish this up here with a nice little chat. Well, kind of reminisce for our father's items. It's like, yeah, it's going to be a journey of just trying to get, well, revenge on the Crimson Wizard. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, in the next episode, we'll leave Elsina and go through some additional cutscenes. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.